If you guys want coins for FC24, make sure you check out MMOEXP.com. Their link is down in the description. They're very fast, they're very cheap, they're very reliable, and if you use my code Rema, you can get yourself a lovely 5% discount. If you're clicking on this video, you're probably struggling to get started on EAFC24, and that is absolutely fine. It is completely normal. So I'm here to help you guys out and give you a formation and set of tactics that will help you get going on this game. I'm not going to sit here and say I know the most meta of formations or tactics, because that is not quite possible at the moment. I've been playing this game for about a day, so it's not possible for me to know that. What I can show you though is a formation which will very rarely let you down, and I'm going to explain exactly why this formation and tactics is so good for starting out. Okay guys, so the formation that we're actually going to be using is the 4-2-3-1 narrow variation. This is the one with the 3 cams, not the one with the left mid and right mid and 1 cam. Now the reason we use this formation is because if you look at it, it is an extremely balanced formation. It allows you to do a bit of everything. At this point in the game, it's not worth going all out attack with a really attacking formation, because it just creates a massive imbalance. You don't know what works and what doesn't. So we want a nice balanced formation that allows you to do a bit of everything. Let me explain a little bit with this formation. So you've got a lot of players in attack with the 3 cams and the striker, but you've also got a lot of players in defense with the 2 CDMs and then all the 4 defenders, and even the cams coming back to help defend. You've got the nice balance in both the attack and defense. You've also got a nice balance in width. So you've got players that are quite narrow, and you've also got players that can play quite wide. So for example, these cams can come narrow or they can go out wide. You've got the option to play wide or narrow. It's not something like a 4-3-2-1 or a 4-1-2-1-2 where you have to play super narrow. So it gives you that option to play narrow and wide. You have the balance between the attack and the defense. You can play very fast with it, you can play very slow with it. There's basically endless opportunities with this 4-2-3-1, which is why it is such a good starter formation, and it's one I use every year, as it allows you to just try out everything, and it allows you to work out what is best for you in the game. So from here, if you don't actually, for example, if you find out you like crossing a lot in this formation, you then might want to move to a 4-3-3 after a while. You know, it allows you to try out all these things and help you guys find your feet. So for the tactics we like to use with this formation, for the defensive style, I have this on balanced. This is because it does give you the best control over your defense, where when you want to press, you know, you can do that, and then when you want them to drop off, you can also do that. With the new balanced, there is like an automatic press as such, so you know you're going to get that press anyway, but you know you don't want to have something that like constant press, because it's going to drain your stamina. Just have this on balance for now. For the width, I have this on 40. This is so we have a nice narrow defense by default, but it's not too narrow at the same time. On FIFA 23, I might have had this a bit lower because everybody liked to play through the middle, but on this game, because we're a bit unsure, it's worth having that width a bit higher so we can still cover those wider areas, because a lot of people will be trying those crosses down the wing, so we want to have good coverage of all possible areas. Now for the depth, we have this on 48. I don't know if you guys know this, but anything after 45, you do have like a pressing mechanic that your team will activate. Anything below that and they will automatically drop back. So I've kind of just gone for something like 48, but I would suggest anything like 45 or over so you can get this automatic pressing, because it is very strong in this game and it will help you out a lot defensively. For the build-up play, guys, we have this on balanced. This is because it allows us to be balanced and varied in our attack, especially with the types of players we're using at the moment that might not be the most high rated. It's probably not best to use something like fast build-up where you have to rush your passes and get things going quickly, because a lot of the time with these players you'll have to be a little bit slower. That being said, you don't want to completely restrict yourself to always playing slow, which is why it's worth having this on balanced. For chance creation, guys, I still suggest direct passing. This is because it makes your players have the best movements, and it allows you to get into the attacking areas the best. It pushes your players up against those defenders and gets them into nice dangerous areas. For the width, I have this on 45 because, like I said, this formation very balanced. We don't have to play super narrow with it by having a crazy low width, and we also don't have to have a really high width either. We can have something nice and balanced where we can attack both narrowly and widely whenever we want to, basically. For players in box, at this moment I have this on 4. This is so we can get a few players into that penalty area there to help us out with those chances, but we don't overcommit everybody to the point where we're always going to get counter-attacked if we lose our possession. For corners and free kicks, guys, I have these on 1 because, you know, I don't really cross from corners, so it's not worth me committing everybody into the box. You can pretty much use whatever you want, however. Now, for the instructions, guys, at this point in the game, very basic, and there's a reason I don't restrict these instructions all that much, and it's because we don't know what is the most meta option for this at the moment. For example, somebody might just want to put stay central and get in behind on, absolutely fine, but for example, if you're using a low rated player that hasn't got the most insane pace, you're not going to want them to be running in behind all the time. It's probably best to have them on mixed attack so you can get the most out of all your team and they will do the most. Mixed attack gets you a lot more variation on the ball, so on the striker we just have him on stay central and mixed attack. For the central cam, we just completely leave him alone because we don't want to restrict him all that much. We want a bit of freedom, we want to be able to do our own thing, so we kind of just leave him alone. We don't want to restrict them all that much at the moment because, again, we don't know the meta. We don't know exactly what is the best thing to be using in that situation. Same thing for the wide cams, guys. You might want to put these on comeback on defense if you're struggling a bit, but I just leave them alone at the moment. You know, it's nice and free flowing. You seem to get a lot of varied movements from the players, and you know, you're not going to want them always charging into the box because it might not be the best option. Just leave it unbalanced at the moment and it works out really nicely. For the CDMs, guys, on one of them I just have them on stay back, cover center. So we've always got at least one CDM defending, so we're nice and solid. Cover center means he will defend those central areas, of course, and then for the other one we just have him on cover center. This is gonna like make him act more like a box to box player, so we can attack and defend with this player and help, you know, with the transitional play from defense to attack. But again, if you want, pop this player on stay back as well. Really doesn't matter, guys, it's up to you. Now for the fullbacks, I like to have one of them on balanced attack and overlap. This just gives us a bit of extra width when we are attacking, which can be very useful because it just gives us a nice wider option, because this formation can still be pretty narrow at times, and sometimes you just want this fullback to overlap to give you that wider option, and then from there you can get in across. For the other fullback, I have him on stay back and overlap. We have him on stay back, so we always have at least 3 defenders back at a time, and then we have him on the overlap run type, so he will make the overlapping runs when we do send him on a run forward. As for the centre backs, guys, I leave them alone, and as for the keeper, you can have him on comes for crosses and sweeper keeper if you want, but I leave them on balance. But yeah, they are the custom tactics and player instructions for the 4-2-3-1. Now we're going to go ahead and get into a game of rivals and, you know, see how this works basically. Alright, so we're getting started off with the game here. We've just got to change it to defensive because that is where we have our tactics selected. Again, I'm still kind of getting used to this game, which is the whole point of these tactics. It allows you to just try out lots of things. For example, I don't know if a driven pass is super overpowered or not, so I can try a driven pass if I want, or I can just do a lot of these short little passes. As you can see here, we've got that overlapping option to help us on the width. So we've got players in the narrow areas and the wide areas. You can see how nice and balanced this formation is. We've got a lot of players back, and we've also got quite a few players forward, which is very, very useful. You can see here we've got a chance with Erling Haaland, and it's a goal within 4 minutes. Really, really nice. Lovely defending. So you can see we've got players back, and then when we win the ball back, it's really nice and balanced. You know, we've got some players forward, some defending. It's just really nice and free flowing, and it's easy to get started with this formation, which is why I like it so much. We nearly scored another goal there. So you can see we've lost the ball. We've not overcommitted everyone, so when our opponent is on the attack, we do have some players back, which allows us to then win the ball back. And you can see again, we're starting the attack very nice and easy, and then we could actually get an easy goal. This is a bit cheesy, but we'll take it. 2-0. You can see what I mean. This is what it's all about at the start of the game. It's not always about the most crazy meta options. For example, the 4-3-2-1 we might find is really good with through balls in like a month's time. But at this point, this is really nice just for balanced play. It's really good, and it helps you get a good feel for the game, which is why I do suggest it. Here we go again. Zaniolo. That should have been a goal. Oh, I nearly had that there. Good tackle from Sula. Rout. Nice interception again. Look at this. There's just so many options with this formation that it's really easy to just get things going. Nice simple pass there. Fake him out. There we go. Should be a goal. 3-0. Lovely. And that's going to be a rage quit, guys. So, you know, that is us using the 4-2-3-1. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have found this useful, please be sure to drop it a like, sub to the channel if you are new, and don't forget to turn on those notifications. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I will catch you in the next video, and yeah, peace.